I saw an article on the internet where an author is lamenting that experts are making wrong predictions, and they don't know which is going to be the next bubble. And he come up with a whole bunch of platitudes and a whole bunch of, his only research and all this stuff. But I think it's very simple why they are wrong. First of all, they do not believe God. And if they do, they will see God in His Word has explained exactly what's going to be happening in our time. And if you get very much intimate into it and make it a part of you, you could see a lot of things are going to bust. I've been telling them since in the 80s that this place is going to collapse. But they say, no, no, you're crazy. Oh, no, no, no. I mean, if you just doing certain things, it would lead to death. If you're smoking crack, won't sleep, won't eat right, always trying to rob the bank, shoot the police, you're going to be dead. I mean, you got to be a scientist for that. Okay? So that's one level. They're not in touch with God, who knows the future and who will tell them things that could help folks to make better decisions. Not necessarily to avert the end of time, because the end of time is going to come whether things are good or bad. But at least it doesn't have to be as bad as it might be. Because in my case, for example, I know what I need to do to prepare for the end of time. And I don't have to stock up, groceries and sardine and berry things and all that stuff. God is going to provide for me. So I know that, and I know what I need to do. But lastly, I think folks are not educated. They have a shallow education. Now, I put an article out there the other day about some stuff, and some guy attacking me wants to know which school I've been to. And he has two master's degree, and the last time he checked, he was educated. And I don't want to go with him toe to toe, because it could get very ugly, and then people start voting on my son, and the next thing, YouTube thinks that whatever, and then somebody come and bust my head because I say something that they want to hear. So I just let it slide. I ain't arguing with nobody. But I would have asked him something like this, bro. Which school did you go to, man? Now, if you didn't go to Harvard or Yale or one of them top Ivy League schools, should I take him serious? Maybe. Okay. But I just remember the government now is getting on high schools and colleges and saying that you guys have been disappointing the students and us. It's a whole game. When you paying money from the government, and they sure that money doesn't keep you nice and happy. You could have some sex, you could have drugs, and you could drink, and you could smoke, and you could party, and you could carry, and you could have to study. And you're going to get those first 2 years credit anyway. Okay? And then they're going to go on and do their specialty, and then they're going to just know where to find the stuff, and they don't know anything. Okay, so when you come out of school, how would you be able to predict anything? When a guy comes out and tells you, I'm a biologist, what question should I ask him? I mean, can he really function? Can he, I mean, look at all this stupid stuff that people talking, and they are relevantly trained. Now, I mean, the Bush them came from Yale. Of course, Obama came from Harvard, and he's doing a great job. But, I mean, in my society, some of the people I see going to Yale and Harvard can't make it, bro. Because the system is so brutal that it's only the strongest will survive. You see, education had been a bulwark in which it also could have prevented some idiots and some imps and some crazies from claiming to be educated. But they make it such easy that everybody could get an education. And then that can be a problem, because there's some people who know it. They know it that, man, I ain't supposed to have no education because I can't function. But then boys going to see that money coming, they're going to get him a degree and everything else. It doesn't mean that he's educated, but he has something that you can show you, hey man, I have a degree, bro. And we get a man a job, you don't know what he's doing. Like racial discrimination, for example. I'm one of the brightest guys on earth. Okay, there are a couple of us. But I can't get me a good job. A guy will watch at me and say, you know what? No, you're not the man I want. I want this guy over here. This guy didn't even go to school. He just tell him, man, I was so good at high school that, I will study up and I'll be good at this thing in a short bit. And it's like a thing that happens. So you end up having this business closed down, because you see, when you're prejudiced, it's not necessarily that you're racist and that you're hating others. You hate yourself, because he should have had the ability to see that I was the right guy for his job. But you can choose a guy that, he likes, that fits into his little notions there, and then the guy don't know what he's doing, and then his business collapses, and then he say, oops. So all I'm saying is that why they're making bad decisions is because, first of all, They're not in touch with God and what He has said and what He's shown didn't work in the past, and also history has shown what hasn't worked in the past. So they don't have a knowledge of the God, and they don't have a knowledge of the education, so that they can't put it together, and they're just saying things that sound good. Like some people say, white people are smart. They're the smartest on the planet. That sounds good. White folks like that. You get, grants and monies and so forth for that, saying that. But is that really true? I mean, aren't all people have abilities that if you give them a break, they'll be able to do something, you know? Okay. So the reason is because they don't believe in God and because they don't have a good education. That's why they're making bad predictions. And you're seeing it in war and the economy. You see it in so many different ways because of their lack of education.